Welcome to another episode of Cleaning and Cocktails. You guys know the deal. This is where I bring on cleaning business owners, subject matter experts, coaches, software developers, manufacturers, suppliers, everybody cleaning focused, right? This is a podcast that helps empower the cleaning community, share stories from people in the cleaning industry, and really bring us all together. Whether you're in residential, whether you're in commercial, or whether you're on the other side of the business with the manufacturers and suppliers, our goal is to unite the entire community. And today, I've got Juliana Rocha out of the suburbs of Boston. She is the CEO and founder of Amazing Maids, but that's just to name a few. We're going to get into deep of all the other things that she's doing for this industry, for herself, and for the Brazilian community. But I'll stop there. And Juliana, please share a little bit. And we always start at the top of the cleaning industry. What got you in this space and what has kept you from not leaving, right? You're here to stay.
All right. So thank you for having me on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. What got me into cleaning space? Well, I'm originally from Brazil, and we moved here back in 91 with my family. And when my mom got here, she started to clean, right? And that's what she did. And a few years into cleaning, she developed a little business for herself where she worked herself out of the field and she had a couple teams. And that's how we grew up, seeing the cleaning business provide for our family. And my husband and I, we were married at a young age. And basically, we were both sophomores in college. It was tough financially. So, I kind of remembered growing up how, my mom's cleaning business provided for our family. So I had a great idea of, hey, Mom, can you help me start a cleaning business of my own? So that's how we got started. In 2006, I started our cleaning company, our little cleaning company. And it's been a wonderful journey since. It's been tough. And but with the help of CBF, and so I would say the first 13 years of business were very tough years, a lot of chaos, trying to build a business and just not really knowing, how to set the processes and systems in place. And I missed out on a lot. I missed out on a lot of family time. I missed out on a lot of things in life just because of fear and anxiety that this business brought to our family. It was something that was supposed to help provide for us. But very quickly, I became a slave of the business. But yeah, so my husband went to school, finished his degree, and ended up joining me in the business because we had already been doing it for a few years, and we decided that we didn't want to go get regular jobs anymore, right? We liked working for ourselves, and we didn't really want to go, get a 9-to-5 job and have a boss. But yeah, so around 2018, I started to look around and try to find a cleaning coach. And that's when I found Debbie Sardone and CBF. And really that's when things started changing for us, when we implemented the processes and systems of CBF and very quickly started to see the company grow. But yeah, so just kind of a long answer to your question. It's how we got into the cleaning business and now even into coaching with the success of Amazing Maids and just people watching us in the Brazilian community, to be specific. I started to get people reaching out to me asking for help. And last year, Debbie Sardone invited me to become a coach in the industry. And I said yes. I became a certified coach through CBF. It was very, very interesting because I didn't realize the demand that we had in the Brazilian community. Most Brazilians, I guess, didn't know of CBF and all the great things that it offers and the results, right, that it produces. So it was a crazy year last year for me. It was crazy in a good way, but certainly didn't expect how busy I'd get from becoming a coach. I had a couple of events last year that sold out pretty quickly with over 200 people. And just in 2023 alone, there were 50 people that I brought to CBF through helping people understand that CBF was for them too. And I think that as an immigrant and seeing my parents' struggles, I realized that a lot of people thought it wasn't for them, or maybe it was too hard for them, or maybe it was way above their capabilities. So that's what I've been doing in the industry with coaching, is just really help bring CBF to my community and let them know that, yes, they can do it too. It's been a fun journey. The coaching, I thought it'd build up a little slower. It built up very fast, but I'm very grateful to be able to help the community.
I know Debbie definitely has talked about you. I mean, me and Debbie have grown close. We've gotten to know each other over the years. And I know I went to a couple events for her last year, and she pointed it out to me too. It was funny. She's like, Rick, did you know there was such a big Brazilian community that they know how to clean? They clean. They're technicians. They build small businesses. But she had pointed you out too, and a few other people. So it made sense, your story right now, Juliana, because people are going to resonate with this, because we've all been there. Your mother probably said, what do you mean you're getting a cleaning coach, right? Because I know even my mom said to me, like, there's coaches in cleaning? What do you mean, like a business coach? I was like, yeah, there's business coaches. I argue and I joke with my friends all the time, like, if you could run a cleaning company and wear all those hats and recruit, train, understand chemicals, do your billing, do your payroll, you pretty much can run any kind of business, in my opinion, because this is a thankless industry, but it's on a spotlight now. So I would say the fact that you're giving back to be a coach, I'm sure Debbie's excited about that. I know the whole CBF crew, I'm getting to know a lot of more people that are a part of CBF. It makes an impact. It really does make an impact, because this is a solo industry. This is a very siloed industry. And for those that don't know that there's help out there, I know for me, I'm 100% Mexican myself, so a lot of our Hispanic community doesn't like to ask for help. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of help out there. And there's a lot of people like yourself and like the CBF and ISSA, which me and Debbie are part of, where would you say, I think I know the answer, but like from 2006, 7 to 2019 to where you're at today, from 2019. Are these the biggest years of change and improvement over the past couple of years that you've seen?
Yes, absolutely. 2019 for sure. And it really began a journey for me to become the leader that I needed to grow the business. Knowing the systems and the processes is one thing, right? But then you got to develop yourself into the leader that you want. Whatever size you want your company to grow, you need to become the leader to lead that. So that takes work. 2019 was certainly a turning point for me, and even 2023 becoming a coach. It's also, like you said, it's a leader to the next level. We continuously have to improve ourselves and learn and just do as much as we can to be the best leader we can for the industry. I'm grateful for the opportunity. It was a lot of work, right? It was a lot of work. Coaching isn't easy, but it brings me joy to see, to be able to see other people achieve the freedom they've been looking for. Because I think a lot of people, like to what Debbie said, is yes, in our industry, in the Brazilian community, that, I think every immigrant country comes in and sort of dominates a certain area, a certain industry, right? So, and I know Brazilians, the women tend to come in and they clean, right? And they clean for somebody else until they learn how to build their own little thing. And they clean for themselves and they build their own businesses. So, and I know there's a lot of people out there that need help, and a lot of people that I've spoken to, so many people this past year who they've allowed their business to, again, steal their joy, right?
Yeah.
And they come to America, it's the American dream, but all of a sudden they're surrounded by chaos and anxiety because of the lack of systems and processes. So where I stand in the gap is there's, and I think you as being Mexican, you can relate, I think especially when you're starting out, when you see somebody achieving success is one thing. When you see somebody that's from your culture achieving success, it makes it all that much more believable. And that's where I come in to inspire all the other cleaning business out there. You said, your mom probably asked you if you hired a coach. She didn't ask me, why are you hiring a coach? But I know I'm surrounded by, at least I was, they question, like, is it really possible? You know what I mean? Is it really possible to grow, a cleaning business, to see it as professional? And I know a lot of people struggle with that. Like, can I really make this into something great? And the answer is yes, we can. Yes. We certainly can.
Julie, let me ask you about, because my wife was my girlfriend in the beginning. We got married. She's my business partner. We started this thing together as well. So how has that been now, growing and knowing that your husband is a part of it? How much family is a part of it? Is it just you and your husband and then your mom still, or like what? How many more family members?
My mom helped me build my business because I started 18 years ago. So, she was still in it, and but she still owns her company. And so then I started on my own, and my husband got his bachelor's and joined the business. So I would say around a few years after, once he got his bachelor's, he joined. And it's great, right? There are challenges of working with family. We really have to learn how to set the boundaries and kind of divide the roles, know who's responsible for what. But we love working as a team. And we always say, a husband and wife team is the greatest mastermind one can build. So I think really learning to overcome the challenges and working together can be really powerful. So as you know, any husband-wife team can be a pretty powerful partnership.
It's a powerhouse. I tell you, every time, like one advice that I give all the time, because it's shared experience, as it would be for you too. It's even if it's not a husband or your wife or your brother or sister, like somebody, right? Like nothing's better than a partnership when you're building something. It's this shit's not easy, man. It'll wear you down. It will beat you up. But there is a reward. Let me ask you this. So what is the size of Amazing Maids as far as like team personnel that you've grown from? I'm assuming it was just you and a few people.
So I started out cleaning. I was out of the field pretty quickly. Again, we struggled for 13 years with the same kind of, we couldn't grow beyond like 300,000 and we were stuck there for a while. So once we joined CBF, we grew very quickly. So we grew to $1 million in 2.5 years once after we joined CBF. And we've been continuously growing. So right now we're a team of 21 between our admin and our technicians. We have 21 people on our staff.
Man, so you have surpassed $1 million in revenue. It's cheesy to think of. That's a number that I do kind of create as a standard, Juliana. And here's why is only 7% of the cleaning industry gets to 1 million in revenue.
Yeah,
right?
it's
so
crazy.
I call it the 7% club, right? I mean, it's crazy, but it's like the fact that you're doing what you're doing and now you're coaching. Debbie does what she does. There's these other organizations that are out there that help build cleaning business owners. That's fragmented, man. That is a fragmented number. 93% of the industry doesn't hit $1 million in revenue. And it's because the processes, the systems, the coaching. I get upset with those numbers, but at the same time, that means that there's a lot of opportunity to make an impact. Like, I hope you always take the moment to just give yourselves a pat on the back and kudos to that's an accomplishment, but you're not done yet, right? Like,
no, we're not.
Let's talk about you open up another city.
Right.
You open your expansion. Like, talk about that right now.
So late last year, we secured an office space in Boston. So we're expanding out to the city. So, because like I said, I'm from the suburbs of Boston, about 40 minutes out from Boston, and we're expanding to the city. So early this year, we've launched Amazing Maids Boston. We're very excited. And the goal is to let's see how this does. Let's create the process for that. And, the same way we'll continue to expand throughout the state. The same way we expanded to Boston, we can continue to, in the future to expand throughout the state. So I have big plans for Amazing Maids.
So let me ask you this, because this is actually, I don't think I've ever talked about this actually on the show. What went into that decision to know that you've got what it takes to expand into a new market? Is there metrics? Is there certain things that you had in process that said, hey, you know what? We're ready. It's time.
We were looking to grow at a faster rate, and we were looking at the population of, the service area where we are, and, Boston just felt it's a city. We can reach a lot more people. And we kind of looked around for, the competition, what's out there. We realized we can do this. We can. We have what it takes to expand our service area and really thrive in the Boston area.
Nice. All right. So we talked about processes and systems. For those that are listening, Juliana, it's Amazing Maids. So I'm mostly residential, any commercial, or is this predominantly all residential?
No, yeah. So when I joined CBF, we were 40% commercial and 60 residential. But I realized through this journey that although it's cleaning, they're two different animals completely.
Completely different. Very different.
Very different. For the time being, we said, let's focus on residential and put the commercial aside. So no, we don't at this time. Yeah, we'll do commercial if it fits within our residential, Monday to Friday, 8 to 5, but we don't do any commercial. Yeah, we decided to choose to really specialize and focus on residential cleaning because, again, the goal is also quality of life, right? One thing for me is really keeping in mind my priorities, and family for me is number one. We found ourselves constantly getting pulled back into the field because of the commercial. Like we figured out residential, but commercial kept pulling us back into the field, out where my husband would be gone, a lot of nights. So we decided kind of put our priorities into place, and we decided to walk away from commercial. Again, we don't know what the future brings, but for now, residential is our 100% of our business.
So thinking about residential, so two things. I'm going to talk about systems real quick and processes. But before that, is there special services that you guys offer for the residential side? Or is it just residential cleaning? Or what about like window washing, tile and grout? Like, is there special services?
No, right now it's just residential cleaning.
All right. Man, and you got to that size already? See, it can be done. I'll tell you, residential cleaning companies, when I remember the first time I went to an ISSA event. It was here in Chicago. It was the business growth strategies. And it was a woman named Sharon Cohen, who was the coach and like the person holding the event. She had built like a $3 or $4 million cleaning company, residential, all residential. And I'm sitting there we do commercial, trying to dabble. And she's like, no, Rick, it can be done. Like many times over, it's just different systems and processes, like you said. So I say all that to lead to, what is one thing, one system or one process that you dialed in over the past couple of years that you feel has helped you get to the next level or gain a pulse of what's happening within your organization? I know there could be many, but I say one.
In the past couple of years, have you heard of the book Traction?
Oh yeah, EOS.
Yeah, so we really implemented EOS in our company and really holding our level 10 meetings, weekly meetings to get that, weekly pulse and keeping track of our numbers on a constant basis, I would say were the two things that really help us start to move forward and really get a feel for, what the company looks like now and what's our goal, where are we going, get everybody on board. So EOS has certainly helped
I couldn't agree more. I just started actually reading the book Three Hag Way, similar kind of things like it's the rocks and quarterly meetings and stuff like that. Would you say, because I have people that'll ask me all the time, Rick, I can only share so much with my team. I don't want to be too transparent. What do you say about how much you share with the team and how involved your leadership is, or you and your core team, to make the difference to keep growing the business?
Yeah, so I don't have a problem sharing with my admin team the goals and where we want to go. And I love getting them excited. I'm the visionary of the company. I'm the one that has big goals and big dreams. And my job is to show them it's possible. So I don't have a problem with getting everybody, even the goal has to be big. If it doesn't scare you, then it's not big enough.
Not big enough.
Not big enough. So I try to get that into them. And not only, I try to impact them, not just in the business too, but to think about their lives that way too. It's like, don't be scared to dream big. It's important that we have big goals and dreams. So I love to encourage them that way. And it's been a journey. Initially, I think everybody was a little, my goals are big, and they're kind of looking at me like, are you sure? He's like, are you dreaming? No, I'm not. And this is possible. So now they're on board. They're with me. And, they're going along for the ride.
So I do have a note. I know Michelle had made a note for me to ask about this. Describe the ambassador program for me.
The ambassador program for our company.
Yes.
So basically we look for social media ambassadors that will post, basically we'll have an agreement with them and they'll get a free cleaning in exchange for posts or for reels in their Instagram. So we're really working on our marketing for 2023 and just looking to implement different ideas. This is a very new idea that we've implemented. So we're constantly looking for ambassadors that are willing to come on board and help spread the word about.
Spread the word. Mm-hmm. So I find that fascinating because on commercial, we can't do that too often, right? Like it's our commercial client, it's an office manager, it's procurement director. Like they don't go on social media like that, where I think homeowners or your clients may be obliged to do that much better because they get to know you guys, right? And they're like, oh,
Right.
I love Amazing Maids.
That's right. And we have a couple of other things kind of planned for 2023 where, it's not just, so we'll be ambassador, they're often, social media influencers that are, they do this type of stuff, but we're looking to engage with our clients too a little bit more. So they're spreading the love for, maybe a discounted cleaning or something, but we're looking to expand in that area too, to explore. So kind of get ourselves out there a little bit more.
Well, especially with the new market, right? I think that's a great idea for expanding into these markets because even though it's Boston or you might be on the suburbs of Boston, it's not that big, right? Where it's like they'll get familiar with you and the brand.
That's right. Yeah.
So let's talk about the brand, right? Amazing Maids. How I see, the branding, the image, the coloring, the website's great. How important was that for you? And is that new? Did you just start to kick that off, or has branding always been something you knew that was going to be a part of your business?
No, I had no idea. Again, I started cleaning. I started cleaning. I had no clue. So, we went through a few names, and back in 2018, we renamed our company. And basically, my husband and I were kind of sitting together. He's more the creative. I'm the total opposite. But we came up with a name and a brand that it didn't reflect who we were and what we were trying to do. So basically, it's like we're trying to reach the commercial and the residential. We were trying to do everything and we weren't doing anything. Yeah. So in 2020, we sat down and I said, I like to rename and rebrand the company. I like it to be a very colorful, standout, and very feminine brand. And, that's how we came up with the colors and everything. And again, it's all very focused on residential. So now we knew where we were going. It's like, okay, we needed to focus on residential. We employ mainly women. We got a lot of moms and housewives that call us. So we really wanted to make the brand very feminine. So that's where back in late 2019 and 2020, we renamed and rebranded our whole business.
Well, and I think like you raised a good point is you knew what you were now, or you knew what you wanted to do. So I think if a lot of companies need to know that piece, and it's sometimes tough, right? You get in the middle of it, you start the company and you're just like, I'm go. But you got to stop and wait and think, is this part of our mission? Is this who we are? And you won't get it right until you think about that and you get it done.
Yeah.
So let me ask you another pain point again, right? I just thought about this myself. I know I struggle with this on the commercial side. What shared experience, tips, or advice can you give those in the residential space? Labor, staffing. You said you have a lot of moms. Like, is that a target market for you and the brand to find those moms that are looking for part-time, or what's the technique that you guys use?
Employees? Yeah. So my goal with Amazing Maids is really to be known here locally as the best job, as the best cleaning job in this area, right? So I would say, and also we have a mission in our company to improve the lives of the customers we serve and the people we employ. So we're a people first company. And so our goal is, we end up hiring a lot of moms because we do believe in quality of life, right? Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And, some of them finish early and go home early and they're able to be home with their family. So we do employ a lot of moms. But I would say right now is basically we get a lot of our employees referring other employees. Yeah. The word is getting out there. Again, the Brazilian community is big enough but small enough, right? Where we're kind of spread. And we get a lot of referrals. So basically we love to get referrals from our employees for new employees, and they tend to be the best hires. And the majority of our employees, I would say, are working moms. Yes. They get to, drop off their kids, work, make a good paycheck every week, and still be home in time to make dinner and be with their kids in the evening.
I got to tell you that's got to be a compliment for yourself, right? Is to know that your team is referring other people. I mean, yes. I know if I don't like a service or I don't like a restaurant or I don't like this doctor or this coach or trainer, I'm not going to refer anybody. So Absolutely. That's got to be a compliment for you to know that they're referring people to your business. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And it's something we worked very hard for, right? And it's not easy to achieve. And I would say it's something that it's always been a goal to really be an employer that cares about their employees and treats them right. And, that they love coming to work too. We get thank you messages from our employees saying, thank you. I think in this industry also sometimes because there's so many independent companies and people still trying to figure out,
I've seen across from the years of experiences, sometimes people don't have work hours, and they don't make a good paycheck every week.
Yeah.
So it's tough because, again, it's, sometimes the experience they've had. So we have very grateful employees that are very, very thankful to have their jobs and do what they do. So
that's awesome. I want to, because Debbie will kick my butt if I don't talk about Debbie for a little bit here. But so let's talk about, because talk about a ball of energy. I mean, I'm a big fan of what she does. I'm a big fan of Cleaning for a Reason. Talk about the first time you went to it. I know my first time I went to an event from hers. How was that? And did it make you want to come back for more as far as the community that she's building around her?
Yes, so I met Debbie through ISSA. It was back in 2019. It was through an event. It was a small event, right? And then, my first, CBF event was actually during COVID of 2020. Oh. So everything was shutting down and we were in a CBF event. So it was pretty memorable. It's something I'll never forget. But it was also something that made me fall in love with the community even more, never want to leave, CBF as long as I'm in the cleaning space. Really, Debbie, during that time, the event was incredible. Just to even know there were things out there available for the cleaning industry, it was pretty mind-blowing because, again, I was in my own little world for years and I didn't even know all of this existed. So it was great. And like I said, it was shortly after we were in the CBF event when, airports were shutting down, everything was kind of shutting down. It was kind of wild, but just the support that she provided during that time, it was just incredible. Our business kind of, went to almost zero, but by June 2020, it was back. It was already surpassed what it was before COVID. And that was mainly because of the support that, Debbie offered during COVID to all her members. So it's an incredible community. It's great support. There's so many successful business owners, part of that community, and people just keep growing and growing their business, right? She has her green jacket.
Yeah, what's this green jacket? Well, I told her I got to come out with my black jacket squad. I'm a black and white. What is this green jacket that when I walked up, I was like, what the hell?
Well, why is everybody wearing the green jacket? And so the green jacket is when, the business reaches, $1 million in revenue, you get to, through the CBF process, you get to go on stage and earn your CBF jacket. And like you said, it is the pat in the back. It is, the ceremony of the accomplishment. It's, I have my video posted on my YouTube channel because it inspires other people. When I sat there, honestly, when I met Debbie, she had us do an exercise of writing, on $1 million bill when we were going to reach $1 million in our business. And I wrote a date. My date was December 2023. But, I tell everybody, Mike, I honestly wrote it down, but I didn't believe it was possible.
You didn't believe it. Ooh,
no,
yeah.
I believed it. But I wrote it down and I brought it home with me. And to this date, I have it framed in my office. And I reached it like a year and a half before that, right? And, just seeing people get on stage and get their green jackets. And it's very inspiring because it's like, I want that too. And it gives you something to look forward to. It's something great she's built. But now she's built the golden jacket now. I don't know if you've heard of the golden jacket.
Yeah.
So
what is this now?
People keep reaching different levels. And she has to keep on innovating and building. So there's the golden jacket now. I think it's $2 million for the golden jacket.
Nah, she told me too. Like, I know the one thing that I'm proud of what she's doing is like, she's an advocate for the residential space, right? Again, it's the residential cleaning space is, I think, 17 or 18% of the cleaning industry as a whole, but there's a lot of cleaning businesses that make up of the 17, 18%. And her goal, I know, being on the board with her now at ISSA, she's like, Rick, I got to get the word out. I have to expose my community with a bigger community and all of us together, because everybody wins if we all know what the goals are and like how big this industry is and why residential is important, why commercial is important, why special services are important. And I got to tell you, man, this girl is on 24/7. And I'm like, Debbie, do you rest? Like, Rick, she's like, no, Rick, I got no time to rest. This Texas girl got no time. I'm like, okay.
She loves to work. Yeah. And you can see it. She really loves, she does. She's always learning. And she's all, it's like, she's pretty incredible because she's always bringing something new. it's like, how do you manage? But yeah, she's great. And I love being part of it.
So let's talk about you as a coach. And, so I got to give you kudos on that. I know in this day and age, people are coming out of the woodwork and, some people that become coaches, it's like, what was your journey to become a coach? I think yours speaks for itself and, what the growth that you've had and the community that you're reaching, not just residential, but the Brazilian community where, like you said, you have to be, at some point, you're a beacon of light for a lot of these smaller businesses that want to reach that next stage. But I got to ask you, did you have an agenda, a curriculum when you first started? When did you know, I should say, that you were going to be a coach or that you wanted to take that catapult to be a coach?
Honestly, it's not something I had in my plans. It just, like I said, especially I would say late 2022, people started to reach out to me. People were following, our social media. And so then was it early 2023? I was like, Debbie, how can I help? How can I help, this community? And, coaching wasn't even kind of running in my mind. And I like to help, but I'm not sure, I can give a tip here and there, but that's really not going to change somebody's life. So through some conversation, a month or so later, I got the invitation to, hey, you know what, why don't you come on board and become a coach with us, become a CBF certified coach. So, and I was like, sure. I kind of thought about it. It scared me a little bit, right? It's a big responsibility now. You're going from something you've been doing for years and really well to something new, right? It's a new thing. And now you're responsible for people's success, or not necessarily, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, you make an impact. You're making an impact on people now. Yeah.
And so when I got the invitation, I thought long and hard about it. And essentially, I've always helped people. I love helping people. It's always been in my heart to help people. So I had already been doing that all along. It just not an official level, like being a coach. So after kind of some thinking and talking it over with my husband, it's like, okay, you know what? You've already been doing this all along, and now you'll have, Debbie's system, and you'll be coached on how to properly coached by the coach, right?
Yeah.
by the maid coach that has helped so many people. So I said yes. And like I said, it's the demand and the need was so great that I definitely didn't anticipate what happened in 2023. Yeah, so I had, I did a little event here in Boston. I held a HCT training, the house cleaning technician training, and it sold out in like a few days. We found a place for 60 people. We got a hotel for 60 people because that's the maximum number of students they can have. You probably heard of Bruce Vance, and he runs the house cleaning technician certification, and 60 students is the max they can have, and it sold out.
Come
60
on.
dudes.
Dude,
and
my God.
In history, this is the biggest HCT class I've done. Like,
Wow.
I'm like, seriously, Bruce? Yeah, he's like, yeah, I never had one this big.
And you could, and that's the thing, like you could have probably had more. Now, did they all come from that Boston area, or like did people?
No, people from all around. We had people from, Washington State, California. Yeah, all over. So it wasn't just from the Boston area. And then we held another event in August. So it's like, Debbie, okay, there's a real demand. Let's hold an event. And then we did an event in August and in Boston, and we had 140 people show up for this event, and which it was just spread through word of mouth, like. I didn't do it.
It's like you have no marketing.
No market. Nobody knows who Coach Juliana is. I became a coach. It's like a few months prior to that. So, so basically through these experiences, we realized it's like, oh my gosh, there is a real demand, and there is so basically it, like I was talking about earlier, is, to see, and from conversations with different people, I realized that how people saw, CBF and Debbie Sardone as such a distant possibility for them. Like, I'm not there yet. My business is not there yet. No. Yeah, and it's like, no, you're there. You can, if you own a business and you want to grow. And that's what it became, is just really to help people see that, the program works. If you apply it, you'll look at hundreds of members that, have seen results, and it really works. Again, seeing somebody who's Brazilian and who achieved it, who applied the process, for some reason, And I know it's not the Brazilian community, but people tend to think like, well, in my area, well, does it work for us? Like, in the Brazilian community, I'm like, yeah, it works for us in the Brazilian community too. Right. We get the same type of thing. Like, oh, this doesn't work in the area I live, or, there's always an excuse, right? People always try to find a way to justify not applying a principle in their business, thinking it wouldn't work for them. So that's where I came in, just really to encourage people and show them like, hey, if I did it, you can do it. I'm not any smarter than anybody else. I'm just willing to work hard, and that's all it takes.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, Julie, that is a great segue to like, okay, so you came from the journey of being the technician, doing the cleaning yourself, growing, understanding business acumen, the processes, the systems. You grow into learning how to be coached, because I think that's an important piece is
exactly.
You learned how to be coached to then know what it takes to become a coach. Are there any characteristics or traits or just skill sets from people that you think they have to have or adapt as they're preparing to then be coached or learn a system? Because it isn't something that everybody can just wake up and do. I mean, is there anything that sticks out to you, like that you yourself had or anything like that?
I would say be willing to work hard. It's not easy. And I think sometimes people think it's easy, right? And as business owners, we have to be willing to do the hard things, right? Wake up early, right? Sometimes stay up all night or whatever it takes, right? Sometimes we just have to put in the work and sacrifice. And I think if people have that, they can achieve it, right?
And patience. Julia, look you just said
that's what it's been years. For me.
Look at where you're at right now. All right.
It's patience too. And I think, where I too long is, seeking help. I think where, it just kind of, for some reason, I was just blinded to the fact that, and it wasn't that I didn't feel I needed help. It was honestly, I didn't realize it existed. Nowadays there's a lot more marketing and it's a lot more available with social media, but I didn't even know something, there was such thing for the industry. I didn't even imagine.
2017, 18 is when the light bulb turned on for me. Cause then I opened up and I reached out of the Chicago area of where, again, same thing, not 13 years. It was 5 years for me and my wife and my cousin, but we didn't know anything outside of our territory, right? It was like, I got all my accounts. I got to clean every day, 7 days a week. This is my world.
Yeah.
And it was like, as soon as we bought some time back in our time and to work on ourselves and work on the business is when you start to realize, holy cow, there's a big world out there.
Yes.
So let's, as we come to an end here, I wanted to leave you with, or have you leave the audience with, knowing what you know now, right? That always famous question of what would you do now different? But what would you avoid? Instead of what would you do now is like, what are things that you would have avoided early on that those that are starting may not even be aware of right now?
Ooh, avoid. Let's see. Wasting time. Like I said, if it's not working, we tend to believe we're going to get different results by doing the same thing over and over. So, if you're not reaching results, you just need to find something different, because otherwise we're just going to keep going around that same mountain and we're not going to reach the results that we're looking for. So I would say, don't waste time. Don't waste time.
Well, that's the biggest one. I mean, I think, that is the number one thing that we have that we can't get back. So I think that should resonate with everybody, right? Mm-hmm. Now, as always, as I tell everybody, your contact info or your LinkedIn, if you're good, I'm sure people are going to want to reach out to you and talk to you. It'll be in our description. Everybody knows where I put it. Any other additional last words, Juliana? Like, where can people see you over the next course of this year? Do you plan on having more events? Are you planning on, obviously CBF, but what other things you got planned?
So always at CBF. We're always at the CBF events, and we're planning a couple of events for this year. The dates and locations are still to be determined, but so mainly I'm available through CBF and coaching. So there is a special program for the Brazilian community where they get coaching in Portuguese with me. So that's where everybody's seeing me. I've been spending a lot of time with coaching, and just helping different, all the Brazilian community and their cleaning companies become more professional, help them grow and thrive in their business.
All right. Well, I better see you out at one of my Cleaning and Cocktails events. I know Debbie's going to be there in April. I'm going to send you an invitation to come out there.
Thank you. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much for joining us on the show. Your story, your journey, like you said, it's an inspiration to a lot of not just the Brazilian community, but I think women-owned businesses and just residential space. I think, that's my mission throughout the course of this year. Everybody knows me as a commercial cleaning business owner and like things that I do for commercial, but residential is a big industry in our space. So I want you all to get a spotlight as well, because especially with the things that you're doing, Debbie's doing, we're all one industry, to be honest with you. Like this is the cleaning industry. We have different segments, but seeing the success of one in any type is seeing the success of what we can get to. So thank you for joining me. I appreciate you.
For the opportunity.
Even though nobody knows, we had a couple of technical difficulties, but you all don't need to know that. Don't worry about it. But yes, Juliana, thank you so much again. Everybody, thank you for joining me. This was another episode of Cleaning and Cocktails. Look forward to seeing you all soon. Juliana, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you again.